Welcome back, dear family of tales by Aya Aisha.
If you're returning, thank you. Your loyalty means the world to me. If you're new here, you're in for something special today. We're about to journey into the hidden strength, grace, and fire of the women behind the veil, the heroines of Northern Africa and Northern Nigeria. Their stories are not whispers. They are echoes of greatness. Today's story is called The Voice Behind the Veil. It is the story of Fatima, a young girl with a voice so steady it healed more than wounds. It awakened people. Let's begin. Have you ever looked at a woman in a veil and wondered who she really is? When people speak of Northerners in Nigeria or West Africa, they are often referring to the people who live in the northern region. Places like Kano, Katsina, Sokoto, Borno, Bauchi, Zaria, and beyond. These lands are home to powerful ethnic groups like the Hausa, Fulani, Kanuri, Tiv, Nupe, and many more. Here the wind is dry, the land is ancient, and the culture runs deep. Northern women are often seen behind veils, quiet, graceful, reserved. But don't let the softness fool you. Behind those veils are minds that have built empires, defended kingdoms, educated generations, and held families together through war, drought, and change. In northern Nigeria, from the red walls of Kano to the markets of Zaria, from Fulani camps to the quiet courtyards of Sokoto, veils are everywhere. But don't be mistaken. Behind those veils are women of fire, of wisdom, of strength. Today, we bring you the story of one such woman. Her name was Fatima Binta Danladi, and her voice changed a kingdom. Long ago, in the walled city of Zazzau, now called Zaria, before the world became fast and loud, lived a girl named Fatima Binta Danladi. She was the daughter of a spice trader and a weaver, born into a world where women were expected to stay quiet, cook well, and marry early. But Fatima had a secret. She loved words. Fatima was no different from the other girls in her neighborhood, except that while they played by the well or learned to cook, she sat with her grandfather under the neem tree, reading. He was old and blind, but his ears still danced at the sound of poetry. "Read to me, Fatima," he'd whisper, and she would read, soft, sweet, with a voice like wind over water. "Your voice, my child," he would say, smiling through the wrinkles of time, "is a gift from God. Don't hide it. Use it wisely." And she would read, soft, sweet, with a voice like wind over water. But Fatima knew the rules of her time. A woman's voice was not to rise above her husband's. Her thoughts were not for public ears. And so she spoke only when needed. Until the day the emir's son fell ill. One dry Harmattan morning, the news spread like fire. The emir's only son was gravely ill. Doctors tried herbs. Imams prayed. Traders brought rare medicines from distant lands. But the prince only grew worse. One afternoon, as Fatima went to the market with her mother, she overheard two royal guards whispering, "They say no one can cure the prince. His dreams are full of fire. He screams the name of someone who doesn't exist. Zakia, Zakia." In the market, people whispered, "Maybe it's not sickness. Maybe it's a spirit." That night, Fatima could not sleep. Something stirred in Fatima. "Zakia," she whispered. The name sounded familiar. That night she opened her grandfather's oldest book, a worn collection of ancient northern poetry, brittle with age. And there, written in fading ink, was a story of Zakia the healer, a woman from the sands who used songs to calm the soul. Fatima didn't know if it would work, but her spirit said, "Try." Fatima knew what she had to do. The next morning, She wrapped herself in her mother's old veil, blue like the calm sky, and walked to the palace. The guard stopped her. "I have something for the prince," she said, voice steady. They laughed. "You? A girl? Go home." But just as they turned her away, the queen mother passed by. She paused. Something about the girl's eyes, her calm. She stopped, looked into Fatima's calm eyes, and said, "Let her in." Inside the prince's room, Fatima sat quietly. She closed her eyes. Then she began to sing, not loudly, not proudly, just softly, steady as though her voice was holding the boy's heart in her hands. Ancient words, a melody as old as the dunes. The prince's breath slowed. His hands opened, and then silence. He was asleep, peaceful for the first time in days. Words spread like wildfire. A girl healed the prince. A voice cured a fever. The veil carried power. The emir called for her. "Ask what you want, and it shall be yours," he said. Fatima bowed. "I want to teach your highness, not just the boys in the palace, but the girls in the market, the mothers in the homes. Let me build a house of wisdom, where voices are not silenced but trained." The emir agreed. And so began the House of Knowledge, a small school with mats on the floor, books on wooden shelves, and voices behind veils rising in confidence. Fatima's house became the first learning center in Zazzau, led by a woman. Behind their veils, girls learned history, poetry, herbal medicine, Quranic verses, and leadership. Years passed. Fatima's students became teachers. Her story spread from Zaria to Kano, from Sokoto to Niamey. People began to say, a woman's voice is not shame. It is shade, shelter, and strength. Behind the veil, Fatima carried more than a face. She carried a fire, and she passed that fire on. Not every heroine needs a sword. Some just need courage, a scroll, and a voice. Behind the veil is not silence, but choice. Fatima Binta Danladi never ruled a kingdom with a sword. She never wore a crown of gold, but with her voice, she healed a prince. With her courage, she changed a city. So the next time you see a girl in a veil, don't wonder if she's quiet. Wonder what she's building, because some of the strongest voices don't shout. They simply speak, and the world listens. She didn't shout, she simply spoke, and the world listened. Thank you for listening and watching this far. And though the story ends, her legacy lives on. Journey with me now as we walk with Fatima beyond the veil into her world. Let me show you glimpses of her daily life. The quiet, powerful moments that shaped her story.